God has seen you and acknowledges you. You have risen so high and amplified your power to such an extent that they now fear you. They believe that God has brought them torment, but it is, in fact, your wrath upon them, the price they pay for underestimating you. Write 77 in the comments to continue asserting your dominance over those who once looked down on you. The weight of an unspoken truth pierces through the darkness, rising to the surface. This quietly growing force is the undeniable reality of what was once overlooked, now standing in its full glory before them. They see this awakening as a threat to their security, one carrying echoes of their deepest fears. You were never a spark that could be extinguished. You have become a torrent of unstoppable energy. Those who underestimated you could never fathom the depth of your potential. But the universe transformed your silence into an awakening and prepared you to craft your own reality. Now they are troubled by the realization that nothing has ended. Your story is just beginning. That buried truth can no longer be denied. Those who once stood close to you chose to exploit your vulnerabilities like pawns on a chessboard. Your fall seemed like a victory to them, yet they failed to understand that it marked a new beginning. In the stillness of the night, a dream brought you ancient wisdom. A timeless guide unveiled a hidden truth, and the message, sealed with faith, broke the chains of your past and handed you the key to reclaim all you had lost. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. Every step you take is like a dawn, breaking through the darkness, dismantling the false foundations they once relied upon. Your strength is not merely human determination, it is a reality shaped by the touch of a divine plan. Everyone walking this earth knows that the greatest battles are fought in the deepest shadows. But your story is different. You did not simply survive. You emerged as the victor, part of a divine will that ensures you stand unshaken. Now, every move you make causes their self-built towers to crumble. The false kingdoms they constructed with their own hands are collapsing under the weight of your presence. To them, you are no longer an enigma. The power radiating from you comes from a source far greater than themselves, and this truth shakes them to their core. The great secret they once wielded as their most powerful weapon has now become a burden too heavy to bear, a weakness incapable of stopping you. With every step you take and every word you speak, the lies they've kept hidden are brought into the light. That secret is now a chain binding them, weighing them down. This is not merely a physical struggle. It is a reminder to those who have ignored the divine legacy carried within your soul. The path you walk is not one you chose by chance. It was chosen for you. Perhaps they are beginning to understand this now. The control no longer lies with them, and the divine order has made you unshakably strong. For no soul rising in the name of a sacred purpose is ever an ordinary threat. As you grow, you can see them being crushed under the weight of the false reality they once built. They are now forced to face this truth. You were not placed on this earth merely to live, but to transform. The moment they realized they could no longer bind you with old fears, they also began to see that their power was nothing more than an illusion. Your guide continues to make your path clearer each day. This is not just the will of one person. It is part of a plan that transcends time and space. Every step you take is a sign of the change that will dismantle their fabricated order. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. By clicking the Super Thanks button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more, you can help spread God's blessings far and wide. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but also the souls of many through this platform. In God's grand design, each of you has a sacred place, and your generosity will bear the fruit of our prayers. Take action now. Share your blessing to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater works in the loving hands of God. May God bless you. They know they cannot resist this change, because everything they have hidden in those old shadows is being exposed as you grow. The false powers they once relied on are now collapsing upon them. The shadow of the inevitable has fallen over them, and it represents more than a mere threat. It is the heavy hand of divine justice. They are not prepared to face this reality because it signifies the complete downfall of their false beliefs. As you grow, this growth is not merely your own power, but a sign that the universe stands with you. For light has never been defeated by darkness, and it never will be. The sacred order is aligned with you, and the emptiness of this world is now beneath your feet. Every illusion they built is crumbling in the face of that divine truth. Every step you take becomes the fulfillment of their deepest fears, because this is not just a return, it is the beginning of a new order. They now understand they cannot stop you or fight against you. You are not just an individual, you are the embodiment of a calling. This is something far beyond them, something that transcends human limits and is written among the stars. Now, there is no safe place left for them. This is not just your story, it is the reclamation of a right that the universe has given you. Everything that aligns with your guidance is determined to dismantle the hollow structures they have built. The fear they feel is not just a threat, it is the victory of the divine order. The emergence of an unexpected ally has upended everything. While everything worked against you and loneliness became your greatest test, a light appeared from an unforeseen place. This was no mere coincidence or chance. It was a connection forged by a divine order, a bond that transcended time and space. A power they could not define, an unseen but deeply felt hand, opened a door to pull you out of the darkness. Its presence carried a reality beyond ordinary perception, a wisdom from the unknown depths of the past, a message revealed only to you. This new bond was far more than an ordinary partnership. It was a turning point that reshaped you. Rumors spread rapidly. As they tried to understand what lay behind this mysterious ally, their fear grew. They saw that your power was no longer confined to you alone, but now supported by another force. As a result, the foundations of everything they had built began to shake. Every step they took to uncover its identity only dragged them deeper into uncertainty. Yet this ally represented far more than anything they could know or define. It seemed to be a guide shaped by the ages, emerging from the depths of forgotten times. Its messages were decipherable only to you. No one else could interpret its symbols or speak its language. This alliance has rendered their rules obsolete. The control is now entirely in your hands. Every move you make is an enigma, every step you take connected to a plan far beyond their comprehension. This new bond is not just a source of power, it is seen as a threat capable of undermining the very foundations of the order they built. The force they feel comes from something they cannot fully define. Even though they cannot see it, they feel its influence growing stronger with each passing day. With the strength of this alliance, you are no longer an enigma to them. You have become a figure dismantling the very structure they created. For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, nor is anything secret that will not become known and come to light. Luke 8:17. A story silenced years ago has now come back to life at a moment they least expected. In their eyes, everything had been buried, the traces of the past erased. But the divine plan never forgets. Just as seeds grow silently beneath the soil, time nurtures what lies hidden in darkness. And now that past has risen, rooting itself deeply and extending its branches into the false world they constructed. They believed they had silenced you, that your name was relegated to the forgotten. But your story was never one that could end in human hands. That spark within you was merely waiting, unseen, for the right moment to ignite. By their plans, everything was complete. The book was closed with victory. Yet now, those pages are turning like leaves caught in the wind. They thought you were a relic of the past, a closed account. But in truth, you were the reckoning itself. Now that spark, like rain falling on parched soil, has sunk deep and begun to grow. It is no longer just a spark, but a fire, one that surrounds them and melts away everything they built. This is not simply vengeance. It is divine intervention, forcing them to face the truth. They failed to recognize that this plan was beyond human control because they were arrogant enough to believe they could manipulate sacred designs. But you have become the living embodiment of that plan. They believed silencing your voice would mean extinguishing your entire existence. Yet the truth is, your story cannot be silenced. The voice they locked behind walls now rises like a storm, crashing down upon them. That voice is not just yours, but the voice of everyone they sought to silence. They cannot stop it because it is not of human origin. It is the plan of the Creator. They thought they had buried the past, but they forgot that nothing stays hidden forever. Time, like a merciful hand, reveals what has been concealed. You are like the roots of a growing tree, nourished by everything they tried to bury in darkness, stretching upward toward divine light. And now, the towers they built are cracking under the weight of your power, because the sacred plan never leaves anything in the dark. Everything is brought into the light. This is not just a recollection of the past. It is the rebirth of that past, transformed into light under your guidance. You have not just grown. With every step, every breath, you are further eroding the false system they constructed. The divine plan walks with you, and they can feel this truth. You are no longer merely a threat. You are an awakening, a reality that pierces through their illusion and exposes the emptiness behind their false power. They don't know what to do now because every move they make, every decision they take, only magnifies the weight of their past mistakes. This is not just their collapse. This is the rebirth of justice itself. They now understand they can no longer exercise control over you because your power is not merely human. It is a force carried by divine order. And you keep walking, a guide cutting through the darkness with your light. Every step you take deepens their fear because this is not just your journey. It is the unfolding of the Creator's plan. They now know they cannot silence you, stop you, or divert you from your path. This is the victory of the divine, and that victory lives through you. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the fleeting concerns of the world. As the Bible says, "But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." Matthew 6:33. Like the mighty oak, our roots are deeply connected to the universal truth of God. Every step we take, every stand we hold, is secured by His strength. And now, you are given the opportunity to be part of this blessing. By using the Super Thanks button and contributing $100, this act will return to you with 100-fold abundance. You did not merely survive in the darkness, you turned that darkness into your weapon. Now you have returned as a force, overflowing with the testimonies of those burdened by this past. Your words carry the echoes of silenced voices, pressing the weight of suppressed justice onto them. The undeniable truth reveals that their mistakes have returned to them in ways they could never have imagined. Every night, they cannot escape facing the shadows of their past. In their presence, you appear like a haunting reminder of what they cannot ignore. You instill fear in them because your presence exposes every lie and injustice they thought was buried. They now understand that there is no escape. This power is more than mere revenge. It is a transformative force, compelling those who stand against you to confront their errors and fears. The destructive wave tearing apart their system has made you stronger, and they are realizing that your return is not merely about justice, it is about shifting the balance entirely. They found themselves caught in a conflict they never realized they had lost, one they could not comprehend. They set every trap, planned their moves down to the smallest detail, yet somehow they failed every single time. Every step they took to bring you down dissolved into nothingness, as if lost in a mist. Each of their actions backfired in unexpected ways, shaking the foundations of the system they had built. This was no coincidence. They now understand that they are not just fighting you, they are up against a force far beyond their grasp. The weight of the unexplainable now bears down on them. In the stillness of the night, it feels as if unseen entities are circling around them. In every movement, every shadow, there is an unnameable resolve. It's as if a will, untouched by time, surrounds you, dismantling every plan they make. The presences that accompany you are beyond the vision of ordinary eyes. They sense these silent forces moving with purpose, dismantling their structures piece by piece. The moment they realize their methods will not win this battle is the moment their fears deepen. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. Isaiah 54:17. Every action they take reveals their inability to understand the divine plan. They did everything in their power to bring you down, but they stepped into the darkness without comprehending the forces they were invoking. With an audacity that defied reason, they turned to ancient texts, searching for something that could harm you, something to stop you. What they failed to grasp is this: darkness is the enemy of those who summon it, and they, in their ignorance, ignited a fire they could not control. That power, which they believed would serve them, turned against them instead. They forgot that those who act with destruction in mind are often crushed by their own schemes. The force they summoned recognized their malicious intent and turned its focus elsewhere. Now, it has descended upon them like a phantom, a specter haunting them. This was not merely the unleashing of an uncontrollable entity, it was the release of something far beyond human control. They saw themselves as superior to the sacred, but the sacred responded in a way that humbled their pride. The chains of darkness they sought to wield have transformed into a creature feeding on their fears. What once appeared to them as ordinary shadows now seems alive. Figures flicker at the corners of their vision. Strange sounds remind them that the force they called is pursuing them. With every breath, they feel the weight of a debt this power will demand of them. This is not just the return of a curse, it is their entrapment within the very web they spun. For the universe works according to intention, and their desire for destruction has now come back upon them. You, however, remain outside of this chaos, moving forward with greater strength and certainty. They tried every possible way to harm you, yet the protection over you never lifted. That power stood by your side because above the darkness there was light. Now, as their plans unravel and backfire, your strength becomes undeniable. No matter what they did, the Creator's hand was upon you. You are the embodiment of a will that makes those forces untouchable. While they struggle with what they thought they could control, your presence grows even stronger as part of the sacred plan. Every wrong step they take only deepens the pit they've dug for themselves. That pit has now become a whirlpool pulling them down. They are on a path of no return. For them, everything has become a maze, woven with fear. The power they summoned haunts not only their physical existence, but also their very souls. Sleep evades them. When they close their eyes, they see you within the darkness they called upon. But you are not the source of their fear. You are a reflection of their mistakes. You are merely the representative of divine order, ensuring they face their disbelief and arrogance head-on. For them, this is the beginning of the end. Because you have not returned merely to destroy, you move with the hand of justice. You are no longer just a target. You are the truth that confronts them with their wrongdoing. The power they sought to control is now consuming them. And you, as the victor of this story, walk in the light you deserve. For no weapon formed against someone under the Creator's protection can ever prosper. A string of misfortunes has engulfed their lives, and with every step, they face unexpected setbacks. What has befallen them is far from mere coincidence or bad luck. They seem trapped in a vortex. The harder they struggle, the deeper they sink. They are beginning to realize that the force they summoned has not brought destruction to you, but instead returned to destroy them. Now they feel a presence in the shadows. A cold breath grazes the back of their necks, and in every silence, they hear echoes of mocking laughter. This power seems to have aligned itself with you. The weight of their intentions is no longer directed at you, but at them. Instead of seeing you as a target for destruction, this force has placed you at the center of a protective alliance. Every move you make is strengthened by the unwavering will of this presence, while their fear continues to grow. They are cornered by the very choices they made. What they unleashed has transformed into a shadow that now hunts them, and they are left with no choice but to accept that reality. This is not merely a curse, it is a trap they built with their own hands. The power they designed to destroy you is now dislodging every cornerstone of the system they created. Every step they take now crumbles under the weight of this truth. For them, fear is no longer just a fleeting thought. It is a growing reality that confronts them with every mistake they've made. As they realize they cannot undo these errors and are lost within the darkness they created, the inevitability of their defeat becomes clearer. What they are witnessing now is the fulfillment of a word spoken years ago. In the past, someone close to you, a wise guide or a messenger shaped by experience, whispered glimpses of your future. They spoke of your trials and dark moments, but also foretold the heights you would one day reach and the fear that would grip those who tried to stop you. At the time, this prophecy may have seemed like nothing more than a fanciful tale. But now, as events unfold with chilling precision, they see that every detail of that foretelling is coming to life. Those who mocked your potential for years now writhe in silence as they watch this destiny take form. Words they once dismissed as mere stories are now becoming undeniable reality before their very eyes. What they once regarded as folklore, they now see as the deliberate path you were destined to walk. This path was laid out long before they could comprehend it, guided by a power beyond your control. The prophecy was not merely about you, it was rooted in a legacy passed down through your lineage. As every detail manifests, you feel the strength of this bond. The voices of the past resonate within you like an ancient melody that guides your steps. Those who cannot comprehend the energy walking alongside you are left bewildered, not only watching, but also sinking deeper into fear. This is not merely about success or victory. It is the embodiment of an enduring will carried through generations. They see in your eyes the wisdom of an age, and under your feet, they feel the tremors of this power. The air itself grows heavier with each movement you make, creating a shift they cannot explain. This is not just transformation. It is the reflection of a force far greater than themselves, dismantling the old order they once clung to. Every step you take now becomes a symbol of the collapse of the control systems they worked so hard to establish. They know they will never be able to stop you because this is not just your journey. It is a story resonating with the voice of ancient times. This is not an ordinary change. It is the return of a force that defies time. The destiny unfolding before their eyes has become a reality they cannot control, and under its weight, they are doomed to crumble. Now is the perfect time to click the super thanks button on YouTube and share God's blessings. You can contribute to His plan and become part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you multiplied beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and abundance are with you in every step you take and every gift you give. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable like His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with this confidence and courage. Be blessed, and may the Lord's light guide your path. At the root of their fears lies the rebirth of a bond they thought they had forgotten. Once, you were souls united in such profound harmony that all rules and boundaries were rendered meaningless. They moved to extinguish the flame that burned within you both. Guided by their own fears, they sought to sever this powerful connection, believing they could break it. But they were wrong. That bond never disappeared. It simply retreated into the depths. Now, it rises again, transcending the limits of time and space, shining brighter than ever. The return of your bond sends shockwaves through every corner of the order they worked so hard to construct. You are no longer alone. By your side is a soul as determined as you are. This is not merely a connection of love. It is a chain forged by past lives, shared battles, and intertwined destinies. Every move you make is seen as a force, pulling them further into the depths. Your enemies have come to realize that this reunion is no mere coincidence. It is an orchestration of fate, a light piercing through the shadows of the past. Your dreams are filled with visions that nurture this powerful bond. Each vision you recall further solidifies the strength of your connection. You see yourselves standing together on battlefields, fighting side by side against enemies and emerging victorious every time. This bond is not just a relic of the past, it is an enduring source of strength in the present. Each image, each memory binds you together like the unbreakable links of a chain. They now know they cannot stand against you. The bond between you shatters the illusions they created, dismantling their false structures one by one. This is not just the union of two people, it is the rebirth of an ancient energy. They see now that this connection is not merely romantic, it is the fulfillment of a universal law. They have come to understand that any effort to separate you is futile. Your reunion marks the beginning of their downfall, an unstoppable wave of power they cannot control. The world trembles under the return of this energy, and they are left defenseless against the storm. A once forgotten and buried talent now reveals itself in all its glory. The dormant power within you had been suppressed for years, pushed into the depths by life's relentless trials. Yet it was never fully silenced. Every challenge, every wound, was a call to awaken it. And now, the moment it has been waiting for has finally arrived. This talent, growing within you like rippling waves, awakens like a silent volcano. Suddenly, just when they thought they understood you, they realize that what they had seen was only a shadow of your true potential. This power is not merely a simple talent. It is an ancient inheritance rooted deep within your lineage. When they see it, they realize they are facing something unknown and perilous, far beyond anything they could have imagined. Their fear stems not only from the magnitude of this power, but also from how mysterious and dangerous it is to them. This ability is a gift passed down through the ages, a force that holds meaning only in your hands. With every step you take, echoes of an ancient energy shake them to their core. What they see is the embodiment of a superhuman will. As you wield this power, everything around you begins to change. With every word you speak, the natural world seems to shift. The vibrations felt are more than a mere ripple. They are signs of a resurrection, reflecting the laws of an ancient world. They cannot comprehend how you have taken control of this force, nor can they adapt to this new reality. A presence that transcends their understanding is evident in your every move. What deepens their fear even further is the realization that this power is not yours alone. It represents a call. For them, this is the beginning of an end, a harbinger of change they cannot resist. Your presence now feels like a storm, exposing their weaknesses and the rotten foundations of the order they built. This is not merely an awakening, it is the return of a forgotten power from an ancient world, and they know they are utterly defenseless against it. Your return has brought their worst fears to life. They believed they could silence you, erase your presence, and make you forgotten. But your absence was not an empty void. Instead of forgetting you, they felt the weight of your presence growing heavier with each passing day. The mark you left was not erased, it deepened, and memories of you lingered, quietly circling their lives like a haunting. While they thought you had drifted away, your energy seeped into every corner of their existence. Now, no matter how much they struggle, they must accept that you were always there, silently but inevitably making your way back. With every action, they are reminded of you, a fleeting silhouette in the corner of their vision, a whisper they can't ignore, a presence they feel but cannot see. You are no longer just a memory. You are a force that infiltrates even their breathing. This return is not simply a reappearance. It is a rebirth that nourishes your soul and reshapes you. When they finally understand that they never truly knew or comprehended you, the magnitude of your transformation becomes something they cannot grasp. This is a resurrection that transcends physicality, a power that knows no limits. They see you in their dreams, feeling the weight of your presence in the darkest corners of their subconscious. It's as if they are trapped in an inescapable labyrinth, encountering traces of you at every turn. Their thoughts are stained by the shadow of your presence. No matter how hard they try to escape, they cannot rid themselves of the sense that you are always there. This fear consuming them is not just the inevitability of your return, but the gravity of the reckoning that accompanies it. Every moment they believed they had distanced you only served to make you stronger. Every obstacle you faced became a building block for the power you've constructed. You are no longer merely a threat. You are a reality that unsettles their balance and stretches their fears beyond imagination. Your presence is not just retribution for the past, it is a wave foretelling their complete undoing. Every step you take undermines them. Every moment of your existence bears down on them as an uncontrollable force. Now, they wait, paralyzed, not knowing what to do. For this is not merely a reckoning, it is an uprising that will overturn everything they have built and extinguish any hope of stopping you. Your presence is a force aligned with the will of the universe, and it is a reality they cannot resist. Their fear is not fleeting. It is a relentless dread, forcing submission to the inevitability of what's to come.